Hey, what's up everybody? It's Jonathan from OT for Tech, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at a wireless charging receiver from a company named LuguLake. LuguLake is actually based out of the United States, but they have several customer service centers as well as production bases over in China. But you can actually purchase this on Amazon with free 2-day shipping for Prime members for $33. I'll leave a link in the description below if you feel like being awesome and checking it out. So before we get into the review portion of this video, let's go ahead and unbox the wireless charging receiver and see what we got inside the box. And you can see just taking off the lid, the very first thing you have is some basic literature and an instruction manual. Luckily, if you're watching this video, you don't need the instruction manual because you have me. Now, you also get a more or less certificate of authenticity, basically LuguLake saying that they stand by their product, and you got a little QR code that you can scan and it will take you to their website. Next up in the box is the actual product itself. In this case, it's the LuguLake Ultra Thin Wireless Charging Receiver, and you can see the front appears to be really scratched, and at first I was really disappointed with the presentation. However, I'm going to show you in just a little bit what all those scratches are. The rear part of the wireless charging receiver is done in a matte plastic, and that's to aid with a better grip when you set it on a surface. And then of course underneath that you have the micro USB to standard USB charging cable. Now this does not come with a wall wart, however you can use a wall wart laying around the house, or you could even plug it into your computer. And that's all that comes in the box. Toss that aside and you can see the scratches on the front are actually because of a plastic screen protector or protector covering the actual charging surface, which is a very glossy plastic, and I could see it being susceptible to scratches and fingerprints, but that's another story. So you can see right off the bat it features the LuguLake branding right there on the front of the wireless charging receiver with a dotted pattern. You can also see the edges are chamfered, and they remind me a lot of the iPhone 5 and 5S. They're like a polished metal, and they give the wireless charging receiver a little bit more of a premium look. But again, they are extremely susceptible to scratches, so just keep that in mind as you're dragging and dropping your phone on this receiver. Taking a look at the back of the wireless charging receiver, well actually the side of the back of the wireless charging receiver, you can see you have your micro USB port, and this is what's actually going to supply juice to the wireless charging receiver to wirelessly charge your device. So this thing has two key features: the fact that it's ultra thin, so it's going to take up minimal space as it's sitting on your desk, dresser, wherever you have it, and the fact that it features a triple coil system on the guts of it, and this is to allow a broader space so you can set a device on it and it should register it every time, and also to give it a quicker charge. And since I failed to mention it in the beginning or up to this point, it features Qi wireless charging. So in order for this thing to work, you have to have a Qi wireless charging enabled device. In this case, I'll be demonstrating my Nexus 6, but I also borrowed a Nexus 5 from a friend. I just didn't get it on camera. So generally all you have to do is just take your device and set it on top of this little bitty pad here, and all of a sudden, like magic, it will start charging. LuguLake states that it has a distance reading of 5mm. In other words, if you have a case that is thicker than 5mm, you might run into some interference problems. They also recommend the use of a 1.5 amp or higher output wall adapter in order to actually get a decent charging speed. For even more efficiency, they recommend the use of a 2.1 amp or higher wall adapter. It also features a blue LED light to let you know what is going on with this thing. If it starts blinking at you, that means your device is actually on the wireless charging receiver, it's just positioned improperly. If it's a solid blue light, that means you're good to go, so call NASA, we're ready for launch. Not quite. My results with this thing are a little bit inconsistent. When using the Nexus 5, it generally takes an hour and a half to 2 hours to fully charge at a decent speed, and generally when you put it on the pad, you're always going to hit the wireless charging spot. When using the Nexus 6, it's a different story. Now mind you, the wireless charging adapter that I chose to use during my testing was the turbocharger that came with the Nexus 6. So ultimately you would think that I would get decent charging speeds with using the turbocharger, but nah. It generally took me between 3.5 to 4 hours to fully charge my Nexus 6 from zero. Positioning is also an issue with the use of the Nexus 6, as you can't just throw it on this little bitty pad here and expect it to activate wireless charging every time. You have to think about it before you set it down on the pad, as the wireless charging pad on the Nexus 6 is closer to the bottom of the phone. So do I recommend it? Yes and no. If you're using a Nexus 6 or a Nexus 7, a larger Qi charging equipped device, I say no, only because it takes a little bit too much time to get it in the correct position. If you're using a smaller device like the Droid Turbo or Nexus 5, I say go for it, as you pretty much hit the wireless charging spot every single time you throw it on the pad, plus it charges your device in a good amount of time. Well guys, that does it for me. If you feel like checking out this product, you can find the link in the description below. If you enjoyed the video, drop me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. Let me know why in the comment section. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Follow me on all my social media connections, and of course guys, I'll catch you in the next video.